Hi everybody, Chris here from Truly Holistic. In this video, we're going to talk about the manifestation process, right? Now, what I will say from the start is that manifestation, your ability to manifest, is a tap you can't turn off, right? So it's not a question about whether you're manifesting or not. You're always manifesting. In every moment you're experiencing, other than the time when you're asleep. Because when you're asleep, you're not here. You're not in this reality. It's kind of shut shop for your purpose in being here when you're asleep. You're actually serving another version or aspect of you on the quantum level when you're asleep, but that's another topic for another day. But when you're awake here, when your eyes are open here, every moment you are manifesting, because that's the role. That's your purpose in being here, is to create reality. You create reality, okay? So it's a tap you can't turn off. So it's not about, as I say, whether you are manifesting or not. It's about being aware of what you're manifesting. So this really highlights your self-awareness. For me, that's consciousness. Of course, the word awareness is connected to the word consciousness, but I feel like we can be aware of the outside world, but we can lack self-awareness. And when it comes to you manifesting, you being aware of your surroundings outside of here, but losing your awareness here means you don't know where your energy is going to, what you're binding, attaching your energy to invest in more, manifest more. Okay, so self-awareness is the key. And we talk about these two different pathways at Truly Holistic, which is of discernment, which is heart, feel, knowing, or mind, thought, mentality. And what we've found with, and generally all of us as humans, we get taught to use that as our primary discernment, which is mind, thought, mentality. And the problem with that externalizes our perspective or perception of reality, meaning we become more aware of what's happening outside of ourselves instead of being aware of our own process. And that's not a good thing because we lose our self-awareness, okay? And we become very easily manipulated and controlled because all of a sudden we're playing what I call the game of duality, which the first step of that is outside sources distract and draw your attention to where it wants your attention to go. But what happens there is, number one, in the way that you manifest is where attention goes, energy flows. So whatever controls where your attention goes controls what you then manifest. And of course, from the mind is very drawn to the worries, the concerns, the fears, those sorts of things. And of course, if our attention is being more drawn to those things, we are manifesting more of the things that we actually don't want instead of the things we do want. Okay? But when we get into heart, feel, knowing, which is our natural state, right? Which we call a state of being. This is why you're called a human being. Is to be self-aware. We become aware that we create our own reality, and we become aware of the choices that we make and where we apply our energy to. Because when we are allowing our heart to lead us, we're allowing something that knows, which is our soul consciousness, the component of ourselves that's not bound or connected to any limitation. You see, as the human, adopted by mind, thought, mentality, this is where we get all our conditioning from that draws us into something we're not, instead of facilitating what we are, which is what we authentically, infinitely are as a soul. Okay, so when we're here, it's not about out here, it's about here. We realize that, hey, if we make the right decisions and choices here, everything else will take care of itself. Okay, and if we're allowing the heart to lead us, it means that we're feeding our energy into more of the things we want, we like, we love, instead of the things we don't want, right? Makes sense, right? And so, our greatest desires are always associated with the heart, right? Have you ever heard saying, oh, that's my kidney's desires, my brain's desires, my mind's? No, our heart's desires. Why? Because the heart knows. It knows what is best for us because it facilitates what we are. This is where we come from. The heart, not the brain, not the mind, the heart. Okay, so what I'm going to also show to you today is I'm going to show you this chart that comes with a pendant set that Truly Holistic creates, which is called the Geometry of Your Evolution pendant set, which includes 3 pendants. And I'll show you those pendants now. So you've got this one, which is the conception pendant. You've got this one, which is the insight pendant. And then you've got this one, which is the manifest conception pendant. Right, it's a beautiful geometry in that, right? Look at that, beautiful. All right, no one there, no one there. They all play a role, which are 3 components or 3 steps to your manifestation ability. So I created that system to support your ability to stay on path to facilitating, providing a reality that reflects your heart's desires, right? And to stay on track. We're going to talk about this process in regards to the chart, but if you're interested in that pendant set, go to my product store at trulyholistic.net/products/. So, I'm sorry, it's going to be, the other way around, but the first step, which is that pendant here, which is actually the conception geometry, right, creates that Vesica Pisces in the middle, 2 rings that overlap. Now, this is what provides, and we've got a little key up here, and it says conception. The first step means the seed, the idea, the concept, right? And as I mentioned, those 2 different pathways, mind, thought, mentality, heart, feel, knowing, they facilitate a consciousness or intelligence that is going to guide your choice, right? That's going to present the idea, the seed, the concept that you're then going to go ahead and manifest in this reality, right? So if you're going to allow the mind to lead you, then the mind is going to, what the mind represents, going to facilitate the seeds, the ideas of what it wants manifested or created this reality. But remember, you're not the mind, you're the heart, okay? So that's step 1. So when you wear that pendant, and why we did it like this is you use a pendulum or any form of intuition or dowsing technique to find out which pendant or what part of this process needs a bit more support or help for you. So you'd wear that one, right? And you wear that as a pendant, right? Now, the second step, which is the insight, stands for growth, right? Just like when you're about to start your vegetable garden, right? You go and get some seedlings, right? Or what you're going to grow. You put seeds in to germinate, right? And then, of course, you're going to feed that with water and put, fertilizer into the soil to feed that seed so it grows and becomes a plant, right? So the insight is growth, because what this one stands for is your insight, your pineal, which is part of the matrix of your place of attention. Your place of attention, as I said, right, that's the first step of how you manifest. And you're using your attention, you're focusing on something in every moment. That's a choice you're making. A lot of people don't realize that. And it's a pyramid or a triangle, the 2 eyes to see and the 1 eye to know. The problem when we're in mind, thought, mentality, that gets blocked off. And now you're allowing the eyes to see to then be manipulated and controlled very easily, because these eyes are limited because they only see 0.0035% of reality. Okay, so you need this in play. So what does this do? This activates, this enables that third eye pineal to come more available. And this is the dance partner to the heart too, right? These are our greatest kind of guides to providing a reality that reflects our heart desire, right? So we've got planting the seed, the idea. We've got the growth of it, right, which is where we are placing our attention. And then the third step, which is this one here, right, the manifest, the conception pendant, which is the finalize, right, the idea that we feed to become our reality, right, is to fully manifest what we desire into our reality, right, to finish the job off, which is to provide a reality that reflects our heart's desires. And I always say to my clients, right, if you want your heart's desires to be manifested, you need the heart to lead that process. But as a human, we get taught to become thinkers. So which means we're up here all the time. And we're creating what the mind wants, but the mind is not you. The mind's going to focus on the concerns, the worries, the fears, all the things you don't want, instead of the things you greatly desire. This process with these pendants will help you and support that process for you. So go and check them out on my product store, trulyholistic.net/products/. Also check my appointment options at trulyholistic.net/appointments/. Catch you later.